What's up, guys? Welcome back to another video. Rope Monster coming at you here from the Roma Norte neighborhood in Mexico City. And today we're going to take a casual walk through La Roma and we're going to talk about cost of living here. We're going to answer once and for all, what does it cost to live here in La Roma, the most gentrified neighborhood of Mexico City, if you will. We're going to talk about what I pay for rent, what I spend in a month on groceries, dining out. It might surprise you that Roma Norte is still fairly affordable. For those of you who stick around toward the end of the video, I'm also going to show you a taco stand where I eat at frequently, sometimes twice a day. And the special thing about this particular taco stand is that it never closes. It's open 24/7, 7 days a week. All right, guys, let's go check out Roma and talk budget. Vámonos. All right, guys, let's get the obvious ones and the most pressing things out of the way first so I don't keep you waiting around. I pay 7,300 pesos a month for rent, and that works out to be, I'm gonna use 20-to-1 for the exchange rate. That's about what it is right now. So that's $365, and I'll throw some shots of my apartment up on the screen. And I will say this, in full disclosure, I have a couple roommates. The building is in disrepair, but I'll get to this in a moment. Why am I unwilling to pay more for rent? And why do I live in basically what's kind of a budget apartment? So I'll get more into that in a while, but 7,300 pesos for the rent. There you have that knocked out of the way, okay? The other obvious one is cell phone, right? Most people down here use Telcel, and I use a little more data than most people. Let's check out this beautiful fountain here. I use a little more data than most people. We're here at Plaza Luis Cabrera, by the way. I'll throw that up on the screen as well. So I use like 500 pesos worth of data every month. So there you have that, $25. Now let's get into the fun stuff. So I eat out a lot, and that's the main reason. I think most people live in La Roma to go out and enjoy life, enjoy the fine dining, but not even fine dining, just good food of all levels. And so my dining out budget is 12,000 pesos a month, or 600 US dollars. So getting up toward double what I pay for rent. And why is that? Well, the food is delicious. So this is one of the places I eat at a lot, Cancino Cabrera location. They have these all over town. You may remember this place from the Lomas de Chapultepec video. I'll show you guys the menu real quick. So the pizzas, you know, a lot of times me and Anna will come here and we'll get a large pizza and we'll spend 275 pesos, maybe get a couple drinks, and we're out the door for like $25 or less. And so we eat out twice a day typically. Sometimes it's tacos, and then a lot of times for dinner it will be something a little fancier. But I'm going to show you one of the budget places I eat at for lunch right around the corner. And this is where we're going to spend most of the focus of the day, is on where to eat out, where I eat out, and how I spend these 12,000 pesos a month on eating out. Spoiler, part of it is simply on Anna's ice cream budget. We get her ice cream at Fredo very frequently, not quite daily, but frequently. And so we're going to continue on down this way, and I'll throw up on the screen shots of the map so you know exactly where we are and that you can come try these places. But Cancino is really a favorite of ours. We also really like Pizza Roma over by Fuente de las Cibeles. So I may show that in a little bit as well. And some of the other things we really like to eat are like ramen and sushi. So we'll go take a peek at those spots as well. But I had to show you this spot down here because it's unpretentious. It's affordable for everyone. And without further ado, here we come up on Don Luis. So I usually get like caldos, like chicken soups. They have quesadillas for 30 pesos. But also a lot of the point of this video, guys, is to just show you what the neighborhood is looking like currently. So I'll throw some shots of the food from here up on the screen as well. So these guys love me over here. The place is always full. We'll take a little time to show the menu here. But as you guys can see, this is very much an economy kitchen, yet the quality of the food is high end in my opinion. The quesadillas, the tortillas are handmade. The tostadas are not from a package. They're made right here. And for 45 pesos, you can also grab a beer with your meal. You're not going to see that very frequently in Roma. Leave in the comments if you know anywhere else in La Roma to get a beer at a restaurant for 45 pesos. But I usually get these quesadillas and then I'll get a caldo with that as well. All right, guys, moving on. Let's go check out just a couple of the other restaurants to give you an idea of how I eat so well on this budget of 12,000 pesos a month. And this is, guys, this budget, it doesn't feel like I'm budgeting. It really feels like I'm living large. I'm going out, I'm spending constantly, yet I'm not really hurting myself financially, which is a great feeling. All right, guys, we're gonna continue on and look at just some of the architecture. And as I said, enjoy the neighborhood. I will talk about a few of the other subjects while we're on our way over to the other restaurants I wanted to show you guys. One of them is supplements. We covered groceries. Oh no, we covered rent, cell phone, and eating out. Groceries I spend very little on because I eat out so much. So maximum, I spend about 6,000 Mexican pesos on groceries, which works out to be $300 US. But I'm not buying, you know, a cup of noodles, top ramen. I'm usually buying, you know, Italian cheeses, Parmigiano Reggiano. I'm buying kefir, things to take care of my gut health. And then I buy a lot of fruits. Most of what I eat at home is raspberries, strawberries, you know, bananas, things that I can just grab and go. For example, last night I went to Chedraui and I spent just under 300 pesos and I got 2 bars of chocolate. I got some raspberries, bananas, other fruits, blackberries, and got out of there for under 15 US. So this place right here, just around the corner, called El Pan, and it's just the letter L, Pan. This one right here, I'll show you. This is where I get bagels, croissants, and I'll just show you guys the case real quick. Hola, ¿qué tal, chicos?
Hola.
¿Todo bien? ¿Tienen los bagels hoy o no?
¿Bagels?
Bagels.
Únicamente pretzel.
Ah, okay, the pretzel, 25 pesos though, that's a monster. Okay, volveré, gracias.
Sí,
¿A qué hora cierran?
A las 9.
A las 9. Excelente, gracias. Nos vemos. Okay, ciao. So guys, sometimes in there, super friendly as you could see, just all smiles. They embrace the whole YouTuber gringo situation right there. But sometimes they have a bag of like 5 or 6 bagels. No, it was 8. I think it was 8. Ask Anna in the comments how much she spent on that, because she's the bagel connoisseur. But, or no, how many bagels were in the bag. It was 50 pesos though for I think 8 of them. And you can see right there, that was a nice size pretzel bagel for 25 pesos. So that's the spot. I'll throw up on the screen where that was, but it's called El Pan. So back to the grocery budget, yeah, $300, that's my maximum. Like, I really probably wouldn't spend that if it wasn't for the excessive consumption of high-end cheeses that consumes my life. So yeah, we have that out of the way, 300. One of the interesting ones that I don't hear a lot of people talking about is transport. And you can get, a bus card and ride the metro, ride the bus. To me, that really takes a lot of time. Sometimes the metro, the subway makes sense because you need to avoid traffic and get really far distances. Typically though, I use Ubers, and I added up from my bank statement. It took a while because they're all like $4, $6, $3, $8. But maximum, with even Ubers that I ordered for other people, I spent 4,000 pesos on Ubers in the entire last month. And that's also ordering Ubers for friends and for Anna. So keep that in mind. That's definitely on the high end. To get from this neighborhood to say Polanco, sometimes I only spend like 70 pesos, but I always throw a tip on there. But even with the tip, you're talking like $4 or $5 to get 2 neighborhoods away. So very reasonable on the Ubers. Let me know guys, sorry, needing an espresso right now. I'm juggling the words. Let me know in the comments what your favorite modes of transport are to get around major cities, especially if you live in Mexico City. Do you like the metro? Do you use Uber? Do you go old school and use the taxis? Sometimes the taxistas can be a little much, and so I just like the simplicity of Uber because you know exactly what you're going to pay. Whereas sometimes with the taxistas, it's a little bit of a mystery. This place here, guys, is one of the higher end spots where me and Anna eat, and it's a Peruvian ceviche place called Yacumanca here on Guanajuato and Jalapa. That place has some of the best Peruvian ceviches, and we'll generally get out of there with drinks for 700 or 800 pesos. So a little on the higher side, but still think about that. We're talking about, $35, $40 with tip, maybe 45. So you're starting to see a theme that will go, budget with Don Luis, and then we'll go higher end with Yacumanca. And by the way, guys, those bagels I do add on there. I throw that in the grocery budget, not the dining out budget. So I'm also going to show you guys one of my favorite cervecerias. One of the things for me and Anna, we don't drink very much alcohol. I'll sometimes go have a couple IPAs at this one place I'll show you. And the most I'll typically spend on an IPA is like 110 pesos at Falling Piano. We're not going to walk by there today, but we will walk by one of my other favorite spots. Falling Piano, I'll spend like 110 on an IPA and then 95 or so on a mezcal. And I'll do just a beer and a mezcal, and with tip it's $12, maybe a little more. So we're now here on Obregon, Alvaro Obregon, and I'll update you guys with the map shot, Jalapa and Obregon. We're gonna walk down without further ado and show you guys this taco spot. And then just beyond there is the ramen spot that we like to go to. And part of the way that we eat so well eating out for 2 people on a budget of 12,000 pesos is we know which days to go where. And that's one thing I wanted to share with the sushi place and the ramen place, because like Monday through Wednesday they have 2-for-1 deals on various items. So you got to know how to play the happy hours and the 2-for-1s. So we could go walk down the center. You can see there, you can walk down that median and enjoy some fountains and things like that. But I don't think I'm going to do that for the sake of simplicity in this video. So we talked about Ubers. Now I want to talk about supplements. I've mentioned in a few videos that I like to take things to deal with the air pollution and the altitude here. I do take a reishi mushroom, quite a bit of reishi mushroom tea, and a few other things, you know, nothing too fancy. But on supplements, I spend about 1,000 pesos a month, last month anyway, and so that was $50. So we'll sum all this up at the end, guys, so you can get a realistic expectation. But you know, the goal of this video in large part was to give you guys hope who think or read things on the internet or hear from people, oh, you can't afford to live in La Roma. You may have to have roommates. You may have to live in an older building, especially if you want a big budget for dining out. But it can be done. The apartment that I'm currently in, I found on Facebook Marketplace. He was one of the few people who actually responded, and the building's old, but the room I'm in is actually really big, and I'm really happy with it. It has a desk, a workspace, so I'm able to hang out there, edit videos, you know, read, and it's really quiet. It doesn't face the street. That's another thing for Mexico City. If you can find an apartment that doesn't face one of these streets like this, you're not going to be breathing quite as much diesel exhaust from the garbage trucks, nor will you hear as much noise. Hola, ¿qué tal? Chambeando? Excelente. And leave in the comments anything that I'm missing, any questions you have about La Roma regarding cost of living or anything else. I would be happy to do my best to answer those questions. And if you guys appreciate my efforts here to enlighten you guys a little bit on the current cost of living here in La Roma, please do smash the like button, subscribe for me if you haven't already. And all right, guys, get pumped up because we're about to go see the taco stand where I eat tacos de birria, tacos de alambre at all hours of the day. Me and Anna were just here. I'll throw some shots of that up on the screen when we get there. Now, it is very crowded always. That's for good reason. They have everything from consomé de birria to tacos de alambre, pastor, chorizo. And so for 20 pesos, you're getting the alambre with queso, with cheese. This is the spot here, guys. Hola, hola, ¿qué tal? Provecho. ¿Qué onda? So, yeah, I wish you guys could smell that. I'm not going to hang around here too long. Ciao, ciao. Que le vaya bien. But I'll throw up on the screen what the details are on those. This is one of the busiest times of day to be here in this little area. But the consomé de birria, talk to that guy right there. And that giant pot right there is full of consomé. So, hola, ¿qué tal? So all these people are going to want your business, but I'm telling you right now, that is the one to go to. No doubt about it. All right, I'm not gonna jaywalk here. We gotta cross this, yeah, this great divide here. I'm just gonna do it. I'm going. Don't kill the gringo. He's got no insurance. All right, we made it. right. Okay. Nope. I almost went, casi me fui corriendo. But no, I know when to run, I know when to stop. But yeah, all those taco stands back there are going to want your business. They're gonna ask, you know, for you to try their stuff. I don't recommend it. I look very stringently at how the food is handled, where the raw meat is in relation to the cooked meat. And I don't want to say anything bad about those other spots, but I just will say that I don't think they're as hygienic. I've eaten at that place 30 to 60 times in the last month. Realistically, somewhere in between those two numbers, like 45 times. Never gotten sick, never had a problem. All right. And this place here that I'm about to show you will kind of round out the food portion of this. But it is the ramen and sushi place, Pavilion Obregon, right here, Pavilion Obregon. We'll take a look at the menu if we can real quick. But what I really wanted to focus on is this right here. Lunes sin carne, 2-for-1 ramens, half a portion. And the half a portion is actually a really good size. This place closes at 10 usually. So this is a late night spot for me and Anna. But you can see here, 2-for-1 full-size ramens with meat on Tuesday. And Wednesday you get 2-for-1 on these 10-piece sushi rolls. So we'll get like 20 pieces of sushi and maybe a ramen and eat really, really well there. And it's almost always somewhere between 350 and 450 pesos. Sometimes we'll get like a jar of jasmine tea, and that does not break the bank. Like I mentioned, we don't really drink alcohol. If you get like the Japanese beers, like the Sapporo, that alone will run you like 170 pesos. So the menu there is not really worth showing in the sense that it's a very confusing menu with tons of options. You have to choose your type of noodles. You have to choose your type of broth. It's a process, and the writing is really small, but the focus was the deals there, guys. And for those of you who need a donut fix, there is a Krispy Kreme there. We don't do a lot of sweets. What we do is we buy raw cacao, usually, and make our own hot chocolate and sweeten it with honey. Or we just eat ice cream, but we try to get like the darkest chocolate ice cream possible. All right, guys, I will see you again in a moment. I'm gonna cross these streets and I'm gonna take you over to my favorite little IPA spot and also show you where I buy my groceries briefly. And thank you guys so much for stopping in today. It is kind of fun when you time the street crossing, right? All right, guys, so we are now up on Tonalá y Tabasco. I'll throw that up on the screen. We're in one of my favorite areas of La Roma now. Once again, not too far from my apartment. Everything is walkable here. But I wanted to cover one more section of budget, and that's miscellaneous. And miscellaneous is basically anything unexpected or that doesn't fit into the other categories. And so, for example, part of my miscellaneous budget this last month was when I was hanging out having IPAs at this place we're about to go check out. There was a really talented street musician playing his electric guitar and doing like some Tosh Sultana renditions and stuff like that. And so I tipped him 100 pesos, and then he let me play his guitar, which was freaking awesome. And so I invited him to have a couple beers with me. So, you know, there goes 300 pesos of the miscellaneous portion of the budget. So I generally budget, or at least last month I budgeted about 2,000 pesos for miscellaneous, about $100 US for miscellaneous, just to give myself some wiggle room and allow myself to have a little extra fun, and also help people out who deserve it, like street performers and musicians. Tierra Garat right here. I drink a lot of coffee and espresso in here. We'll take a peek inside at the prices. One of the things me and Anna do, it rains frequently here in the evenings. So we come here and we play Uno and just wait for the rain to pass. So, but you can see, guys, an espresso there. Let's see if I can show that. An espresso is 38 pesos. Yeah, I mean, all of the beverages are very reasonably priced here, but that does go under the dining out budget right there. So usually Anna will get a croissant, I will get an espresso, and she will get, or I will order her a large Americano, knowing that I can then have some of that as well. So, but we get out of there for like $6, $7, and we'll sit in there for sometimes an hour or two playing Uno and just, yeah, enjoying life and waiting out the storm. So I think you guys are starting to, for those of you mathematicians, I think you can kind of start to add up the numbers in your head. And, you know, it's actually seeming pretty reasonable. And imagine if you dined in more often, if you ate, you know, eggs and ramens or soups at home, you could live here a lot cheaper, and people do live here a lot cheaper than I do. So keep those things in mind. That I think what you're noticing is that a lot of my spending here is discretionary. A lot of those Uber rides I wouldn't need to take if I wasn't eating out in different neighborhoods around town. So the dining out, the Uber rides, and even some of my groceries and supplements are all discretionary. And the miscellaneous, a lot of that is discretionary spending. I'm choosing to tip that street musician 100 pesos. So my hope is that with that, you're encouraged that, yeah, you can come live in La Roma, you can stay here. Give yourself a little extra in the budget for the time that it will take you to find a cheaper, more affordable place. When me and Anna first got here, we were staying in a fairly high-end, like, boutique hotel, I should say. And we were paying about 5,300 pesos a week. So this is the spot, guys. Brew. I'll throw up on the map where that is. Hola, ¿qué tal? I usually come over here and just grab like 2 IPAs. I like the Monopolio, I think I'm saying that right. So yeah, and you can see, like, very pleasant place, plants all around, happy people, dogs running around, the traffic's not too terrible. All right, there you have it, guys. My budget for the last month to live in Roma Norte. Let me know what you thought. I'm gonna go ahead and give you the totals of everything right now. We covered rent, groceries, eating out, cell phone, supplements, Ubers, and miscellaneous. Grand total, drum roll please, 32,000 Mexican pesos, or 1,640 US dollars with a 20-to-1 exchange rate. So hopefully you guys found that useful. Those of you wondering, can you afford to live in La Roma Norte? What do you get for your money? What kind of quality of life do you have for $1,600 a month? Well, you get ice cream, you get tacos, you get sushi, you get ramen, you get a decent apartment in a fantastic location. So guys, the point, don't be discouraged. Come to La Roma, check it out. Sure, there's other neighborhoods, but this place is so walkable, so beautiful. It's really worth the cost of living here. And I think there's a lot of misconceptions out there about what it truly costs to live here. Hopefully you found that useful. Smash the like button, subscribe for me if you haven't already. Rope Monster, out. And for those of you wondering what I spent the rest of my miscellaneous budget on, Dave, only you know. and we're gonna keep it that way.